Good morning, everybody. This is Cambo. This is May the 3rd, 2021. Yes, 2021. And this is the world's worst podcast. I am the world's worst podcaster. Let's get to it today, guys. Hey, I'm recording today in MP4 format. So, what I'm trying to do, quite honestly, is dump Anchor and get to someplace else. Anchor's become complicated. Has anybody else noticed that? I mean, Anchor is it's really hard. It's difficult to even find your RSS file. Another problem I'm having with Anchor, just to let you guys know, is that trying to think of it, put me on the spot, put myself on the spot. Another problem I'm having with Anchor is this. If I go into Anchor on my iPhone and I log in as my business name, Lubu Productions at gmail.com, I will find some of my Anchor recordings. If I go in on my iPhone 8 and I log in as another login, my regular email login, then there's recordings of a different type of podcast that I tried. If I come here to my PC, there are two different logins with two yet different podcasts that I have tried on Anchor, none of which are the same. So even when I go, so that's four, right? Two logins, two devices. Well, then it even gets more complicated now because two logins, two devices can also be it squares. It's just like the square root of something, because every podcast I want to put them all together and under one name. I don't know why it only recorded one specific podcast under one login. I understand that, but I don't understand why I can't combine them easily and make things easier. Does anybody else have trouble with their glasses? This is why this is the world's worst podcast, guys, because I sit here most of the day and I rock back and forth and I just talk. I talk about nothing, absolutely nothing. That's why I get bored. I am home alone often. I am here with my daughter, but man, I just start talking about miscellaneous bull, and here I am. Anyway, so back to Anchor. Give me a holler, give me a shout out at lubuproductions at gmail.com if you have some advice on starting out podcasting to the world's worst podcaster. Because if you want to give me advice, I'll probably take it. Now, whether or not I'll understand it or use it, that's a completely different story. Why? Because I'm mechanically illiterate. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm an idea man, but putting stuff together ain't my thing. Let me tell you, it used to be my thing. I used to be pretty inclined, but that was before years and years of diabetes. See, I don't have fillings in my hands. I don't have. See, I got that square. Fillings in my hands. I don't have good vision. I have retinopathy. Blah 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 blah. But anyway, I'm just not very good anymore, especially without light. So let's put some light on it. Look at that. Look at that. Whoa, dude, way too much. Oh, I can't find myself in the shadows. Way too much light. Way too much light. How about that? No? Let me see. Oh, dang. You look good, dude. You look awesome. Hey. So what else we're going to talk about today? Let's Google together. You want to? I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click some settings and I'm going to see if I can't get my screen. Can't get a little better screen here. What do you think? World's worst podcast. Dadgum, I don't know how I did it, but I set my screen up to where it's a square, and I don't want it as a square anymore. I actually want it. Whoa, that ain't it. Hey, that's fun though. Woo! Anybody have seizures? I hope not. Whoa. Okay. So anyway, I don't like this light on me. Does anybody else not like that? Well, that makes it worse, doesn't it? All right, all right, all right. I'm gonna get better at this, even though it is the worst podcast in the world. All right. So my younger brother just texted me. Let's see what he's got to say today. Oh my! Started a fire with gas today. Singed my Fu Manchu and my hand. Scared the bejeebies out of me, bro. I guess at 50 years old, I should stop starting fires with gasoline. Ha! Well, that's a pretty good text, isn't it? That's interesting. That makes for a great podcast. This is something I still do. Give me a holler. Give me an email if you still do the same thing. More than likely, you're a man. More than likely, you hang low. More than likely, you go out to your yard. You can't find lighter fluid. You got a bunch of trash to burn. And you just decide, hey, I am going to start a fire with gasoline. Because I have gasoline. So why not, right? Make sure, here's the key, guys. I mean, this is key. Listen to me. Make sure that you use a long big lighter. Hey guys, make sure this isn't coconut. See, I'm massively allergic to coconut. That was my youngest daughter. And what we got here is Dunkin' Donuts. Anybody else love the Dunkin'? I remember when Dunkin' Donuts, when I was a kid, see, I don't even know my stage left from my stage right. I remember when I was a kid, Dunkin' Donuts was this dump. And they all went out of business because they were such a dump. And then suddenly, like 2018, they came back more. Well, they still make great donuts, but they never have the flavors you want. Have you ever noticed that? Anybody else ever been to Dunkin' Donuts? You want sugar cream, you want Bavarian cream, you want lemon, and they're like, oh, we're out of lemon, but we have something you don't want. Well, I always pass. But what I do go to Dunkin' for, guys, is this product right here. I am not a salesman, and I'm not affiliated in any way, shape, or form with Dunkin' Donuts. Although I do like seeing half my face covered with it. That looks really cool. That's a great advertisement. I know it's a podcast. Some of you are listening. It's all good. If you're watching it, that's all good too. I don't really care because it is the world's worst podcast, and I am the world's worst podcaster. But anyway, this is decaf with 9 creamers. And I've been carnivore, actually I've been ketovore for about 9 weeks. And this helps. This is decaf, so I don't stay up all night and I don't get antsy. But it has only 9 creams in it. By the way, if you are not ketovore and you've not studied it, you know that cream is carb free. That's not sugar free, folks. That's carb free. Have as much cream as you want when you're ketovore because it ain't going to hurt you. It's going to help you. So, Dunkin' Donuts, thank you very much. There's no sweetener in this. Speaking of ketovore, I have only found one sweetener yet that does not spike my blood sugar. It is not stevia. It is not the new chemicals. Swerve. What it is monk fruit. It's very expensive. It's still very hard to come by. But I do like monk fruit. And it does seem to get rid of my sweet tooth. I have not tried cooking with it as much as I have dumping it into a liquid product like coffee or tea. Anyway, so where were we? Oh my gosh, I'm horrible at this, aren't I? Okay, where were we? We're going to Google something. Let me see here what we can Google. You cannot see my screen. I don't even know if I know how to flip my screen. No, I don't. Sorry, I was going to show you my Googles, but I can't do that, so I'll just read you my Googles. Let's see here. Let me see here. Um, well, since I really don't know what I'm doing right now, let's go back to my younger brother. Let's talk about him. We're going to interview him at some point on our podcast. My younger brother's name is, let's just call him G. That was his nickname in high school, and a lot of people still call him that. Mainly me. Man, I tell you, I've done some photography and I've done a lot of film, but I really suck at this camera. Look how horribly I'm lit. I'm sure it's just as bad with sound and everything else. But anyway, G's my little brother. G is married. He doesn't care if I share things. So I'll just tell you, this is marriage number 4. Yeah, count them 4. Hey, I'm on 2. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. But he is currently married to a Filipino lady, and he has been for many years now, actually, probably 10, 12 years. Her name is Jay. And Judy podcasts all the time. She doesn't podcast, I don't think. She YouTubes all the time. Go check out her YouTube channel. She podcasts in Filipino language to her Filipino friends and family in the Philippines. I find this fascinating. You get on and you can watch her live, and I'll have to get her call name. We'll advertise for her. I'll get her call name. But a quick question: can you guys see my mouse in the recording? Because I'm watching my mouse. See, my mouse right now is over my nose, and I don't know if my mouse shows up in this recording. So I don't think it does because the camera's on me and it's not really recording the screen. So anyway, long story made short is, if you want to talk to somebody in the Philippines, you want to do that live, you can get on YouTube, watch my sister-in-law, and she does that. It's a really, really cool thing. Another thing is they have an eBay website, and on that eBay website you can buy just about anything. I tell you what they do, they find some amazing deals at garage sales. Hey, there goes my daughter. Well, yep, she likes to squeal, especially on camera. You can't really see my dog because I squared it out. You can't really see my bedroom because I squared it out. I have a horrible back. Look, no green screen, no, nothing. I'm telling you, it's the world's worst podcast, okay? But anyway, at any time, any place, anywhere, you want to check out some really cool shoes, some Hilfiger stuff, some good stuff, you'll check out my younger brother's eBay site, and he is a retired young sheriff's deputy in Florida. He is also a CDL truck driver and has worked on the train tracks. He's done a lot of stuff, as well as I have. We'll get to that plenty of times. But his favorite of all those, he loved truck driving, and he also he really enjoyed working on the railroad. And has always hoped to be called back. My daughter is playing with my dog while I podcast. This is why I love podcasting outdoors, although she's just so dadgum cute. Along with my dog, who I can't see. Anyway, what are we talking about? So, gee, he's a heck of a cook, man. My younger brother is an amazing cook. Just a really good cook. He cooks everything, man. He cooks a lot of Filipino stuff. He cooks a lot of non-Filipino stuff. That made a lot of sense, didn't it? Uh-oh. You guys aren't seeing me anymore. There I am. Watch. Okay, I'm going to go off screen, and I'm going to giggle something. What am I going to giggle? What do you guys want to learn about? The craziest news of the day? Let's do craziest news of the day. Remember, guys, you can email me at any time. I'm going to set up a phone number because I'm going to be hopefully dialing people at random. And craziest news of the day. Weird news from Huffington Post. You guys can email me about this. I'll have my opinion on it. I'll try to see both sides of everything. This is not a political podcast in any way, shape, or form. But I do want you to know that, well, first of all, you cannot go to Huffington Post without a subscription. So we're going to click out of that. Sorry, Huffington Post. I would love to support you and read your weird news of the day. However, you have cut me off in the middle of the worst podcast ever. So let's go to odd news on Fox News. Let's check this one out, guys. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Michigan woman glues eyes shut after mistaking a nail glue for eye drops. My goodness. Now, guys, quite honestly, this is something most of us are probably making fun of. I mean, what is this woman? What's going on? But let me tell you something as an idiot. That's me. I would pick up a glue bottle, not read it, put it in my ear or eye without reading the small print. Why? Not because I'm stupid, because I can't read the small print. Here's my pet peeve of the day, guys. I knew we'd get to something good. I knew it. Here it is. Diabetics, long term, like myself, okay, they get eye problems and they get filling problems, right? So, diabetic products come in tiny boxes with tiny print. Now you would think that the diabetic products for the people who have diabetic issues would put big ass print all over their products. I hate it. It drives me nuts. I can't read my insulin meter, but it's an insulin meter. Isn't that funny? Hey, if you're an inventor, give me a holler at Lubu Productions at gmail.com. That is LOUBOO Productions at gmail.com. And what we'll do is yak about getting some huge test meters out there, getting the directions on things like glue bottles that you put in your eye. And you know what? I'm not a Buckeye. I live in a Buckeye State, but I'm not a Buckeye fan because I'm a Hoosier born and bred. And but this chick was from Michigan. That's gotta tell you something, doesn't it? I love Michigan. Michigan's a great state to visit. Go there. Their tourism's amazing. Anyways, so I would do that. I'd do it on accident. I'd do it out of frustration because I couldn't read the bottle. If my wife wasn't home and I couldn't go, "Hey, honey, can you read this for me?" Then I'd probably put glue in my eyes. I would hope that it's not poisonous glue. I would think about it. I would think, oh, these eye drops are really going to help. They're not poisonous. They're eye drops, right? Anyway, I would glue my eyelids shut and I'd end up blind. So, let me get back to my screen here. Goodbye for a second visually. If this is a YouTube MP4 that you're watching, it's even worse as a podcast because I'm clicking in and out. I don't edit anything, guys. I have no clue how to run a computer. So, let me click it back out. And Fox News odd story of the day number two. New Hampshire gender reveal explosion party. Explosion rocks towns miles away. Oh my gosh. People were playing with dynamite. People were playing with dynamite to expose their baby's gender. And you know what? Oh, I can't quit thinking about it. It scares towns miles away. So I'm sitting here. What are we gonna do? See, this is why I podcast somewhere else, because if you'll notice, you can't notice because I'm stupid enough to set up the camera. Watch. Hey, Sar, look at that, look at that. Somebody wants to go potty, and my golden doodle noodle wants to go potty. So here I am again, a tech idiot, as I've already explained, and I have a dilemma. I don't know whether to pause my video, stop recording my video to let my dog out. I'm going to hit the one that says pause. Let's see what happens. This might end up being doubly the worst podcast ever. The worst, the worst of the worst, something like that. Anyway, goodbye for the moment. I'm hitting pause. All right, we're not real sure what happened there. I got a little note that says resume. So I guess probably it was seamless with the exception of some really crappy little sound bites popping in you guys. Where did he go? Oh, he's still here. Oh, it's a different segment. No, it's not. I don't know. I know nothing because I don't care how to edit. It makes no difference to me what you watch, what you listen to. If you choose to listen to me, cool. If you don't, you don't. It's a lot like my kids. Let me give you a good example. If I were to ask my 12-year-old who's laying in behind me right now, supposed to be studying, but instead playing on her phone because she's remote schooled and she can do that. If I were to ask her right now, what is the phrase? What is the phrase? And if you're listening to me, you have no clue what I'm talking about. But if you're watching me, I could type it somehow, I'm sure, if I could figure it out on the screen, and we would play Guess the Phrase. But if I were to yell to her right now, what is it you say to your dad 4 times a day, 5 times a day? What would she yell back? Hello? Hello? What would you say? Brianna. Oh! I'll have to edit it out. I have to edit it out. No one's allowed to know your name. Anyway, what would you say? Oh, malarkey. Come on, what do you tell me 4 or 5 times a day? Come on. You know what I'm talking about. She's giggling. She's giggling because she knows exactly what I'm talking about. What is it? Say it. I'm going to take your phone if you don't say it. Say it. I don't even know where she picked up on it. Say it. Oh, brother. Never mind. So much for a good podcast about being the worst podcaster in history. Let's move on. Shall we? Shall we move on? Because this podcast has no theme. It's got no purpose. Because I have no theme and I have no purpose. Here it is, folks. The middle of the day. Whoa, can you read that? Oh man, I really suck at this. You can't even read that, can you? I wish I could put it on a different camera. Guys, my wife just brought me, look at that. It looks like I'm a hothead head. Look at that. Oh. Hothead head. Oh, for those of you who are just listening, I am holding up a bowl of hothead steak. Because I'm carnivore, hothead is a good choice. I like hothead. They typically have some really good stuff. I've not tried their steak. So let's do it on camera, because if it sucks, I want the whole world to know I told them hothead sucks. But I'm guessing, oh, hang on, lid's coming off. I'm guessing it's really, really good steak. Oh, can you see that? Can you see that? Melted cheese, sour cream. Oh, smell-a-casting. Get it? Smell-o-vision, and I'm podcasting, so it's smell-a-casting. Smell-a-casting! I'm smell-a-casting to those of you listening, and to those of you who have the pleasure of enjoying me on YouTube. This is Hot Heads for a carnivore. Let's do it! Let's do it! Alright, ready? Alright, ready? It's just supposed to be steak. Let's see how the flavor is. Look at all that grease. You see that grease? Let me tell you, that grease is actually good for you. Go look up Dr. Ken Berry. If you're having any health conditions whatsoever, go look up Ken Berry. And let me tell you, K-Devore has, I feel better. I really do. Um, this grease is good for you. See that fat? That feeds your body. It's not sugar. Sugar didn't exist during the caveman times. Caveman times. Anyway, all right. I still haven't tasted it. I'm still just yakking. Hothead burritos. This is the probably liable for something against the law advertisement of the day. Oh, first of all, I'm eating it cold. That's fair enough, right? Guys, I'm going to pause this because I think it has potential to be amazing, but it's very cold. So, if the first pause to let the dog out was a screw up, we're going to do it again. So you're going to hear a little self-editing going on right here. A little click probably, or cutting the tape. Because I'm also later, watch me later, I'm going to put dental floss in my teeth on camera and on radio. Isn't that awesome? What other podcast can you go to where the dude is sit back and floss his teeth on the podcast? Who? Who would you go see? Alright, anyway, told you I was going to pause it, and I am going to pause it. Oh, there's my dog. And unpaused. Where were we? Oh, see, I paused it to go and get my hot heads warmed up. That I've done. So here it is. Here it is. I just had a missed call. I think it might have been an ad. So we'll ignore it. Alright. So, hothead reheated from the Y. See, the cheese is melty again. Here goes. Can you see that? With my horrible camera skills and my horrible tasting skills on smellicasting. Good. Really good. Steak flavoring. Very taco-esque. Who would leave me a voicemail in that quick a time? You guys like telemarketers? I love them because I used to be a telemarketer at one point in time. I think they're awesome and I play with them every day. I do, man. I just get. So does my daughter. She'll answer the home phone, which we never use, but only gets telemarketing calls. I set it up to do a job that I never did. But anyway, she'll answer it. Domino's Pizza. By the way, Domino's is an awesome pizza company. So's Pizza Hut. And Papa John's right now has a stuffed crust. New stuffed crust, mega stuffed crust. Man, this stuff's tearing me up as a carnivore because I want to eat that pizza so dadgum bad. And you can tell by looking at me right now or hearing me, because you might hear my double chin talking or, I don't know, my TMJ talking. All signs of a fat guy if you're listening. But, oh my gosh, I want to try that Papa John's. And I know my way around a pizza. Alright, so I'm eating on camera because this is the world's worst podcast. I'm the world's worst podcaster. Don't forget, in the future of this podcast today, coming up, Cambo flosses his teeth. Oh, I'm so lame. Yeah. Very strong tacoing, Mexican, Latino taco flavor. Tender steak. Really strong flavor. I said that, didn't I? Did I say that twice? I said that 4 times, didn't I? Anyway, cheese is really good. I don't know if my wife got me shredded cheese or queso cheese. Queso cheese you have to be really, really careful with because it can have some pretty high carbohydrates and sugar content, added sugars in there, and suddenly you're out of ketosis Does everybody know what ketosis is? Word of the day: ketosis. 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 I win that spelling bee, but ketosis means that simply your body is using fat as an energy source instead of using carbohydrates as an energy source, and this makes for very good weight loss. It can't avoid it. If you're in ketosis, you are going to lose weight. It's science. It's fact. So I say you try it. That's why we weren't fat as a people years ago, because we didn't have much sugar in our lives years ago, especially processed sugar. Oh my, somebody keeps texting me. Hey, give me just a second, guys. Only world's podcaster would do this. What's to say? Oh, I have a chiropractic appointment this Wednesday. I go every Wednesday. I have this thing called polyarthralgia. Diagnosed last year. Comes with diabetes. Basically what it means is I have osteoarthritis in every joint in my body. So I do like going to the chiropractor. I would much prefer a massage because I also have diabetic peripheral neuropathy. Look it up if you don't know. But basically, chiropractor feels really good. So I go every Wednesday. My chiropractor's amazing. Hey, doctor. Hey, doc. Dr. Davis in Ohio, D.C. If you want to sponsor me, that'd be great. You don't have to. I just want to let you know out there, if you're listening and you're watching, I want to let you know that you're a really good chiropractor. And I appreciate it. You make my cervical goes back in every week. Now, the massage table, Dr. Davis, I could go without. It really doesn't do that much for me. I'd rather have something that, what's it called? D, where I'm stretched. What's that called? Somebody call me. Somebody email me. Lubu Productions. LOUBOO Productions at gmail.com. And let me know what I'm trying to say. Put words in my mouth because I'm such a horrible podcaster. It's not de-escalation. It's stretching your back out. Anyway, well, that looked really gay, didn't it? Not that gay's bad, but because I'm not a homophobe at all. I have many gay friends who I believe are just as good of people as I. Some of you may not like that. Some of you may agree with me. This isn't a political podcast, so I don't care. And number two, my opinion is really what sucks about the podcast. My bangs are driving me nuts. Anybody else try to grow their hair out? And their wife's like a hairstylist, but you can't get your bangs cut or your beard trimmed. Look, like I wear this headset so I can put my bangs back like a chick, because, well, they drive me nuts. So anyway, I wear this headset so I can put my bangs back. Still munching on some hot heads. It's getting cold again. My doodle noodle's standing on two legs right now. My doodle noodle, poodle doodle noodle. She's standing on two legs hoping to get a piece of my steak. Anybody else love dogs? I love dogs. Call me if you love dogs. I've had some really cool dogs in my life. When I was growing up, I had 2 or 3 border collies. They were all good dogs. I grew up in farmland. A couple of them got killed by tractor trailer wagons. It was all unfortunate. I laugh just because I don't want to cry, in all seriousness. But some really good puppies. One was named Jazz. I didn't have Jazz for a couple weeks. We had some neighbors, and they always had border collie pups that they were given to us. I might have a little something mixed in. They're almost always all border collie. And I had Jazz, and I had Champ. Now Champ came to. Hey, speaking of poodle doodle noodles, welcome to audio. Welcome to the world's worst podcast. Yes, that's my dog, and I don't care. Um, Champ. Now, Champ didn't come to me as a puppy. Champ came to me as an adult. I don't have a clue. I was like 4 or 5 years old. How Champ came around. Champ was an awesome dog. I love my grandpa. We'll tell my grandpa stories. Hey, if you guys ever want to tell a grandpa story, will you email me your grandpa story so I can share it? I'll give you a buzz sometime and put you on podcast if you want to be heard and hear. I want to hear about your grandpa. Anybody else want to hear about their grandpa? I want to hear about everybody's grandpa. Anyway, Champ took a piece out of my grandpa one time. That's a great story. You hear my voice. Used to have directors when I did stuff on stage. They would say, "Hey, you're slipping into a falsetto," and I do tend to do that. I don't know why. So, gosh, I've been talking for 35 minutes. Has anybody learned anything? Probably not. My dogs whine and blow me. Anyway, I had Champ. This is kind of why it's the worst podcast in the world, guys, because I'm so full of ADHD. Like, shit just runs through my mind like no other. So, anyway, I had Tippy. Now, I remember Tippy. Tippy was a cool dog. Tippy was a collie mix kind of deal. And she ran away one time when she was probably, I don't know, she was middle aged. What's middle age for a dog? Because that whole 7 year thing, that's supposed to be malarkey now. Dogs age at a different rate. Anyway, you don't know what I'm talking about. Read the article. We'll look it up someday if I get bored. Tippy ran away for a long time. Really long time. And we counted her as dead. I mean, we really had. We didn't have a burial because we didn't have a body. You can't have a burial without a body. But we counted her as dead. All of a sudden, like 2 years later, this dog shows back up under a big pine tree, all beat up, just in horrible shape, broken bones and bleeding and scars and, just all kinds of disease. So take her to the vet, and my best memory about Tippy, now I got bad memories because she ran away, and I found her pretty ate up, but my best memory of her is in this huge plastic collar. And she was an outdoor dog. On my dad only let us have outdoor dogs growing up. But she had this huge plastic collar, and I painted it. I think I painted it bright orange. I don't know where I got bright orange, but anyway, I painted it so we could see her and the farmers could see her and not run over her. But she wore that for the rest of her life, which was probably only a couple years. But she was an awesome dog. She really was. Sweet temperament. Clearly had been through something in life, but still a cool dog. So, I don't know. By the way, you guys want to see a dog trick? Oh, I'm sorry. Trick casting. Dog trick casting. Oh, yeah. See, I always forget that I'm audio and video. So watch. Meet Poodle Doodle Noodle. Over and up on camera. Oh, come on, Poodle Doodle Noodle. Up on camera. Come on. You want up here? Do you want up here? I want you to beg. Oh, you're not begging enough. Come on, up. Up. There you go. Now beg. Now beg. Oh, now beg. Oh, beg. Oh, you got it. You got it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? That's it. Anyway, not gonna wash my hands. She's my dog. My blood. Doesn't matter if I eat after her. She's just like my kid. I don't eat after my kids sometimes, especially my oldest daughter. I try not to eat after her because I don't know what she's got. Anyway, still eating it, and it's good. What were we talking about? What were we talking about? Somebody give me a quick email. Let me know what we were talking about. I can't remember. Oh, yeah. How did I forget? So, I had Champ. Had Tippy. Jazz got hit right away. I had another little puppy from the same litter as Jazz after she got killed, but I can't remember what I named. Rambo. Rambo. I named that dog Rambo. Rambo as well got killed. My mother felt guilty about Rambo dying for the rest of her life because she had just let him out to run and pee, and it was at that very moment a hay bale wagon was driving by. It was very sad. Speaking of which, oh, I laugh at inappropriate times like my daughters. But speaking of which, my uncle loved, my favorite uncle, loved the little terriers. Yorkshire terriers. Little blonde thing, tiny little dogs. And he had two of his at the same time. Get that too. If you're listening, you cannot see me holding up two fingers. But he had two Yorkshire terriers at the same time. The only two dogs they owned get hit by an Amish horse and buggy. I know your first thought is, were they drunk? I don't know. Amish get drunk, they drive their buggies drunk, but I don't know if they were drunk driving and killed my uncle's dogs. I don't know any of the answers to that. I just know that two of my uncle's dogs were hit by an Amish horse and buggy. It was very sad for him, but in retrospect, I'm sure he's upstairs somewhere going, "Oh my, don't be podcasting about my dead Yorkshire Terriers, young man." Anyway, after Rambo, we kind of gave it up for a while. My older brother, who we've not talked about, his sixth grade teacher had a litter of puppies. And Mom and Dad took us over to get one of them. She'd invite us over. They were just a mixed breed. And my brother had one, and he called it Bandit. And Bandit was kind of looked like a bandit. She had, some things that would make you name a dog Bandit across her eyes. That's hilarious. Did I really just describe why we named the dog Bandit? I did. Because this, folks, is the world's worst podcast, and I am the world's worst podcaster. So, Bandit. Now, Bandit herself was the only time I had the pleasure of viewing a live birth. Bandit had 12 puppies one day at the bottom of our basement stairs. She was not allowed inside. She was an outdoor dog, but Dad said, okay, if she's going to give birth soon, we'll let her in. So we let her into the basement. Now, as we let her into the basement, she started having puppies. And puppy number 12 fell down the stairs. Now, puppy number 12 lived, but puppy number 12 was quite, what is the politically correct term nowadays? I don't want to say retarded. I don't want to say, I'll just say, let's just say she had some learning disabilities. Oh, so we got to keep one from the litter, and my older brother and I chose this thing, and we had special names for him, but he didn't live much more than 2 years. He ran off. I don't remember, but he was a pretty loving dog, because just aloof, and definitely you could see the you could see the disability in him pretty clearly. I don't remember where Bandit went. I don't remember what happened to Bandit. Maybe my brother took her on his first apartment or something. Anyway, then I go off to school. My parents switched to cats for quite some time. And still eating steak, guys, if you can't tell. My parents switched to cat. They had a dog cat. Everybody knows what a dog cat is, right? My dad hated cats, man. Growing up, my dad, he was allergic to them. Wouldn't do anything for a cat. Kick them off the property, run them off. All of them were farm cats, chasing rats, blah, blah, blah. But my dad came across this cat in his retired years that he absolutely loved. The cat's name was Sammy. Sammy acted just like a dog. Sammy got from my dad, yes, my allergic, cat-hating dad, Sammy got some treatment. every morning before Dad would get up to go to work. Dad worked in a factory. His shift started about 5:30 a.m., so he was up and going about 4 a.m. Every morning at 4 a.m., you could hear the microwave go click, 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 click. And that microwave was heating up full 100% whipping cream, fresh out of the daggum cow teat. And my dad was heating it up every morning, taking a bowl out to this cat who he kept in the garage, who acted just like a dog. It was a really cool cat. I miss Sammy. Sammy was awesome. I have another cat story, but oh yeah, we're talking about dogs. I go through college. All those probably. Oh no, my first marriage. My first marriage wedding present. Don't ever do this, by the way. Ever do it. Don't give someone a puppy for a wedding gift. Yes, that's what some of my college buddies did. That dog that we got on my first marriage probably led to half of my divorce. I think my ex-wife beat him. That's a whole story in its own. My dog, my poodle noodle, is still scratching at me for a steak. So, smell-o-vision. I just took a piece of steak to the camera if you're listening. I'm going to drop another. I'm going to drop it. Boom! Drop it on the floor. Let my poodle doodle noodle lick it up. Lick it up. Thank you, Kiss. I wasn't a big Kiss fan, but I like that song. Lick it up. Lick it up. Anyway, go through my 20s and no, you're not getting any more. We went to this kennel and we picked out what we thought was the runt of a litter of full-blooded miniature poodles. And well, the dog grew up and the dog didn't look real poodle-esque. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I had a little more DNA in there than poodle. Well, years later, we went back up to the mountain. I went to school in the mountains. Went back up to the kennel in the mountain. Knocked on the door, just out of curiosity. And what answers the door at the kennel but a couple of chihuahuas? Well, I'm guessing someone has snuck into the kennel, if you know what I'm saying. A little something with chihuahuas. And I ended up with this wired-haired, supposed to be a poodle, even had papers, kind of poodle that was just mean, crossbred. His name was Fuddy Duddy, because we had a cat at the time named Elmer. So we named we named Fudd after Elmer, Fuddy. Now, Fuddy hung out. I got Fuddy in the divorce. Again, I think my wife beat him or something. He hated brooms. He'd attack brooms. And he really didn't like my new wife. Oh, this is a story to talk about with her, not with me. Anyway, so my second wife, who you hear me talk about, I'm still married to, of course, by the way. Many years. She did not, nor her father, care for Fuddy Duddy Puppy. Because Fuddy Duddy Puppy was mean to them. Hey, your dog's mean. It was a really good dog to me. It was loving, caring. Hey, took a bite out of it every now and then, but anyway, stuff that most dog lovers don't care about. If you're not a dog lover, you probably would have put him down years ago. After Fuddy, me and my second wife went and got a pound puppy. She was the most adorable, beautiful puppy ever. She was blonde. We thought we were getting some good lab in her. So we adopted her because she had this great pink nose. We didn't know her nose would turn colors as she got older, but she was so cool. We named her Polly. My wife's nickname was Pollyanna when we were dating because she was always so full of joy. And I still call her Pollyanna sometimes. It's my password to a few things. Hey, look, world! I I just told you my password. Anyway, um, so we named the dog Polly. And come to find out, hey guys, I'm going to click over here and get rid of this email popping up. I wish you could see my screen so you could read all my emails. Anyway, Polly ended up being almost full-blooded pit bull. We had no idea we were getting a pit bull. None. But you know what? In the long run, she was an amazing dog. She really was. My poodle doodle noodle driving me nuts over steak. I guess I shouldn't be eating on camera, on radio, on mic, at home. Excuse me, with my poodle noodle. I'm eating hotheads, by the way. I already told you that was good. So when we were about halfway through Polly's life, she was probably 4 or 5. We started we became foster parents, and we had kids around, a lot, younger kids, and we started to see the pit bull small animal aggression issues come out a little bit. Then we were robbed in our old town, and they threw a brick through our back brand new $500 door, and with blinds in it, back in early day of 2000s. Anyway, they threw one of my patio pavers through the door and robbed this blind, and while they were in our house, we weren't there, but our dog was, Polly, and they beat the holy heck out of Polly. And from that day forward, Polly was kind of shy around other people. And occasionally, eventually we ended up adopting a couple kids, one of which was a baby and became a toddler. And Polly had some aggression issues with her, and we worried, so we had to put her down, and that was really tough. That was really tough. So anyway, miss her all the time. She was an awesome dog. Waited a few months. Mother's Day rolled around. I thought, hey, it would be a great Mother's Day gift to just go out and look at the pet store. I said I'd never buy a pet from a pet store. You hear these awful things, but granted, we're in this pet store, and there's this Labradoodle and this poodle noodle with a golden retriever, and we didn't know she was miniature. She was one of the first generations of miniature. We thought we were getting a full-size doodle, and she grew into a whole whopping 10 pounds miniature first generation doodle noodle, and she is a beggar. That's what I call her most. Secondly, I call her a sweetheart. She is just the nicest dog you could ever come across. Plays so well with my kids. Grew up with my kids. She's just an awesome doggy. She's not extremely bright. She learns slow. She's bright, but she's really sweet, and it makes up for everything else just because she's so loving. She really is the most loving dog I've ever had. So, hey guys, if you've had a really cool dog story, let's talk about that in the future. You want to? I mean, this is the world's worst podcast, and I'd love to invite you on it. So at LubuProductions.com, that is LOUBOO Productions at gmail.com. Please send me an email. Tell me about your favorite dog story. We can do it on the air. If you tell me what it is in an email, then at some point we'll get to know each other well enough that we can meet up on Zoom or something, and we'll podcast together, and I'll give you a chance to tell your dog story. I'd love to hear them, and I'm sure actually what this podcast was originally supposed to be. Hey, if you're watching me on camera right now, you got to see a piece of steak go boo right up to the camera. If you're on Smellicasting, then you can get to enjoy that. But anyway, oh, don't forget, guys, don't forget. I promised to floss my teeth on mic for you and on camera, and that's going to be hugely important to the show. It's going to make us famous someday. Anyway, I have another podcast titled This ain't no Joe Rogan podcast. And maybe some of that stuff should have been on this. But anyway, getting down to the last bite. My dog's still begging. I'm out of dog stories, and we're about at an hour. What I'm going to do, there's a lot of ums in there. Look, not look, smell. Smell the casting. Look, I'm going to give my doggy another piece of steaky. Woohoo! Got some steak today. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, gender neutrals. Anyway, um, what were we talking about? Anyway, I think we're going to close her up here for today. Again, my name is Cambo. I am at Lubu Productions at gmail.com, and I'd love to hear from you. I will post this later today, and hopefully we will have it. Remember, at the beginning of the podcast, I had some Anchor issues that I was complaining about. Sorry, Anchor. I used you for quite some time, but it just got way too complicated for this fat old white guy. And what I'm going to do is try to find another low expensive podcasting production site and go with that. And hopefully it'll take MP3s, and I can take this really lame video and upload it just to the audio of that past podcasting site. And then I'll also take my podcast and upload the video and the audio to YouTube. And you guys will be able to enjoy my podcasting skill, because, folks, I'm Cambo, and I am the world's worst podcaster, and you're listening to the world's worst podcast. We will talk again another time. Be blessed. Love one another.